Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Long, and again, today is the 30th of 2011, and thank you for joining me. Now, today I like to talk about my political point of views, if you will. And as you know, I wrote them down on several sheets of paper so that because if not, I would just be talking about the different angles of my political spectrum and on every particular issue, and then I'd be talking forever, and then it won't end. So I want to limit time. I want to write it down on paper and kind of read it, and it's something new, but hopefully it'll reduce the length of my video time. Okay, and on the first page, I wrote about how I felt about immigration and how to deal with illegal immigration. And thus, ICE, Customs, Immigration Enforcement, Border Patrol, and Customs must be retained. We need to put a triple lane brick wall up along the border, along with using surveillance and more Border Patrol and Customs, who must also be heavily armed. Give the ones that have been here illegally a pathway to legal residence as opposed to citizenship, and ban Congress the authority to provide citizenship to illegal aliens or undocumented immigrants. For that matter, arrest employees who knowingly hire illegals and the DREAM Act, and ban illegals from being able to receive Medicaid, Medicare chips, and other government subsidies. Block them from getting work. Require all business employees to use E-Verify, and arrest all city council people and mayors, as well as governors and state legislators that have voted to block police and judges from questioning illegals. Reducing government. We need to disband the EPA, FEMA, the TSA, the IRS. We need to abolish the Federal Reserves, disband the Department of Education, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Energy, the Department of Labor, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Labor Relations Board. We need to disband the Department of Agriculture. We also need to disband and abolish the 16th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution, aka the federal income tax, and replace it with the fair tax that should only be in place to tax people living in apartments. Thus, homeowners should be exempt from, and we should not use taxpayers' money to fund open border groups and pro-amnesty groups and special interest groups such as LULAC and the National Council of La Raza. I also believe in capital punishment for those rightfully convicted as long as due process is applied. I'm also against secret arrest and believe we should use due process on all criminals in the United States, including terrorists, and believe that it should be up to the correction officers to prevent terrorists from indoctrinating other inmates. Once they have been convicted and put away, the federal government was set up by the states to provide for the common welfare, to combat undocumented immigration, to deregulate the Commerce Clause, and to protect everyone's constitutional rights, and to provide this. To provide. Okay, well, thus if the person should not receive a gun. Okay, then I wrote something on gun rights, and I got the papers mixed up. We need to also provide services and do contracts with free market owners in creating services for people with autism, Down syndrome, and other mental and physical disabilities, since the free market is incapable of providing such services and it is constitutionally allowed, as it falls under promoting the general welfare. Medicaid, Medicare, and CHIPS should be retained, thus only those that are disabled for people with both mental and physical disabilities, and should those incapable of taking care of themselves should be the only ones on government welfare. That also includes the blind and the elder, as well as the disabled, drug gangs, drug drugs, gay marriage, education, labor, and housing and urban development should all be states' right issues and should be dealt with by the states. Let the free market deal with the housing. Let the housing market clear. Lower taxes by 50%. Businesses large and small. Thus, the person should not. Hold on. This and once a person fully buys a gun, and now I'm going on the gun rights here. Bank, he or she should not have to pay property taxes or school taxes to the federal government, and property and school taxes should be abolished. We also need to withdraw from the United Nations, the UN, NATO, NAFTA, GATT, the NDEP, the NTO, the World Trade Organization. We need to withdraw from our military quickly as we can from Europe, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and from all over the world, and send them military forces, including advisors and special forces, and send them back to the states. We should not be in the affairs of other countries unless we are attacked and or invaded. We need to shut down our military bases from all over the world and end free trade. In addition, we need to end foreign aid. We're not the policemen of the world. And just because we have the largest, most powerful military and economy in the world doesn't necessarily mean that we have a responsibility to police the world. Thus, the person should not receive a gun or be allowed to buy one if he or she is an illegal alien or undocumented immigrant, or if he or she has a criminal record. Abortion should be made against the law and should never be performed unless the patient's in danger of losing her life. Other than that, adoptions should be the baby has the right. Adoptions should be allowed as the baby has the right as a baby and should be protected as the right to life and should be protected by federal law. The federal government also has no right to block people from building mosques, churches, as it violates the Constitution. There are provisions under the Constitution that would protect Muslims, the bad ones, not the good ones, from taking over the country and setting up Sharia law. So people like to talk about it's a necessity that they're trying to take over this country and this and that, but there's provisions in the Constitution that would prevent those people from taking over this country. And other groups for that matter, whether they be Latinos, blacks, etc., they will not be able to promote and try to elect people that hire or elect people who come into this country to endorse or support illegal immigration if the Constitution prohibits it. The Constitution is the main law of the land. Anyways, these are my political point of views, and my name's Michael J. Long, and thank you for joining me. Good luck, and God be with you.